I spoke last week about the federal government's Anti-Corruption Commission. I said then it was unsatisfactory in its present form. I made the point that it would be able to start its own investigations without a referral. The body would have retrospective powers. Now, I've mentioned several times that the Liberal Party's DNA is opposed to retrospectivity. I cannot for the life of me understand why the opposition would say publicly it is prepared to support the legislation. It may be prepared to support the concept, as do I, but surely it must oppose the detail, and what is worse, the absence of detail. The National Anti-Corruption Commission, with the acronym NACC, lacks the checks and balances of the New South Wales ICAC. Yet we have seen what a disgrace that has been on so many fronts. Innocent people publicly paraded as guilty. I mentioned there are authenticated reports that 128 people have been defamed or destroyed by the New South Wales ICAC. There are no exoneration protocols. I mentioned last week that 3 South Australian King's Councils, 2 men and 1 woman, have written that without adequate safeguards, corruption commissions have the capacity to operate as a star chamber and have consequences that are significant and irreparable. Their words, and I quote, "Some commissions outside South Australia hold public hearings that result in public humiliation and the destruction of reputations. The processes invoked by corruption commissions bear no relationship to fair processes that a court must apply," unquote. I said earlier the concept may be worthy of support, but the detail, as I currently see it, is not. This is where the opposition should strike without fear of being politically branded. The first point to make is a straightforward one. There is very little on the public record to suggest that public life in Australia is rife with corruption, or that matters have gone unexplored because of the absence of an anti-corruption body. And when you look at the New South Wales experience, one can hardly be inspired to believe that these bodies add much to public life or give value to money for the millions of dollars that are spent on them. This Dreyfus outfit has a budget of $262 million. And the headlines at the weekend were quite chilling. Dreyfus has warned, that's the Attorney General, that, quote, "everyone needs to watch out for the proposed Anti-Corruption Commission, which will be given, we are told, spy-like powers to intercept encrypted messages from workers in the public sector." Dreyfus said all members of the Commonwealth public sector would be subject to surveillance. How on earth do you do your job? Dreyfus went on in threatening language, quote, "I think everyone needs to watch out," unquote. And he acknowledged that this commission could gather sensitive national security information if it surveilled members of the Defence Force and spy agencies. This is not something that Peter Dutton can support.